Yeah.
Full moon event for February of 2023. Darcy, Caitlin, how are you?
Good.
Fantastic.
Good. I asked you both at the same time. Yeah. It's like when the waiter comes up and asks you how the food is when you just had a bite. You're like, oh.
Exactly.
Yes. So February 5th is a special one. It's like Caitlin, very close to having a birthday full moon. Very close. Tuesday, correct? What are we at? Sunday? Yeah. That's cool. She's got some full
Wow.
moon energy, like trailing into your birthday. Very, very cool.
Yes.
That's
I like
excellent. Yes. Yeah, and then early in the month. So last time, what was it? January 6th was the first one of the year. So yeah, and from what I gather, Darcy, you had asked Caitlin to get the moon statistics. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was feeling a little I'm not going to say uninspired, but a little less inspired this time. Just figured it'd be nice to get someone else to take the reins on that one for this time around.
For sure. Absolutely. Yeah, we can definitely start to just rotating some of the different duties. I usually do I forget if it was myself or Darcy. Either way, Darcy, do you want to just for anybody that's like joining us for the first time, just a brief explanation of what the heck we're doing here with the moon water and such?
Basically, we're doing witchcraft.
All right,
Honestly, that's what it is.
Yeah.
No, so basically what we're going to do is put we all have our special containers.
Oh yeah.
There we go. Yeah, we all
Boom.
have just something that's like sentimental and it's got some water in it, and we're going to put our intentions into the water and then let it get charged by the full moon's energy. So set the intention, look at the moon, put the vessel out to the moon so that we can see it for the night, let it get charged up, and then take sips of the water. Or Caitlin, you use it to water your plants, or however you want to do it, however you want to ingest it. Or it kind of gives you a little bit of a boost throughout the month. So that's our basic overview of what we're doing.
Yes, very cool. Very cool. I have in the past done new moon letters. So new moon is like whenever it was, I think January 21st. So, and it's like writing down for me, I do it in like future tense, like as if it's already happened, sort of what we do with the what if thing, like what if, and then you talk about something that's happened or that you want to manifest. So getting very specific with the letters, and I usually have the letter tucked away in like a special location, but on full moon nights I'll bring it back out and have it present with the moon water vessel as well. So another just fun thing you can do with that. And yeah, aside from that,
there was another one too, I forgot, sorry. I know, Caitlin, you put crystals like around yours, right? My particular container has like a little section right here that has crystals in it. Matt's container has a crystal growing out the center of it. Just crystals kind of help with the energy as well, the energy exchange into the water, and just help get those intentions out there a little bit better. So
definitely. And worth noting, Darcy, that you've had enormous success with with like manifestations, whether they're like tangible things or like the intangible of just like things you want to experience or whatnot. It's you've had some pretty important things happen for you, eh?
Yeah, I've had some huge things go right in my life, and I've also passed the energy on to a couple friends of mine, just here and there, knowing that they need a little bit of extra whatever in their life. Actually, it just worked for last month. A friend of mine got a permanent full-time job with the government and like a huge raise and everything. So just kind of helped them along with that. So yeah, moon water at it again.
Yeah, moon water at it again.
You bet.
And so Caitlin, Darcy had mentioned, watering the plants and it having an effect on the plants, a very positive one. What else has been sort of your experience that you've had since you've been? Oh yeah, by the way, I'm just seeing the tattoo now there too. So rad. Healing up well.
Thanks. Thank you. It is very scabbed over right now.
Yeah.
I expected it's very dark, so I expect to take a little bit. I've had it's the moon water has saved a few plants for sure. And now I've been specifically using it in the plants that I have in my bedroom. Because I thought about it and I was like, we breathe off the plants, right? Like the plants give off oxygen. So it is a way to ingest it myself as well. So it like gives the plants their life, and then, you know, I breathe in the oxygen while I'm sleeping. So,
cool.
Yeah. So it's been great. A lot of times I put like a self intention. Sometimes it can be like a theme for the month. Sometimes it can be something that I'm working on within myself. Sometimes it can be super tangible. And yeah, it's been really special to like set that intention and to see it like come through the next, you know, month. And it's been like different with the different experiences and the different things that I've chosen, and equally as magical.
Cool. I love it. You know, and I think one of the first episodes that we've done months ago now, just the whole idea of like the full moon and how it can really enhance, you know, what's going on. I mean, we mentioned, Darcy, myself had mentioned, you know, like working in retail, and I'm sure you got it, Caitlin, in the restaurant industry. Get some like strange people would kind of show up, you know, during the full moon nights and be like, what's going on? And then I go out and be collecting buggies or whatever I'd be doing and look up and like, oh yes, of course, the full moon. Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, I watched a video, I think last night or the night before, about just that. It's like the idea that whatever is inside you will be amplified on the full moon evening. So you know, in some cultures, it's really important to plan for that. And they have calendars more based on the lunar, you know, cycle as opposed to the solar lunar cycle, which is be like the you know, the calendar that we use over here. And it's and you can kind of plan for it. So like if you really want to feel love, you plan for it and get really intentional about, you know, however that may show up in like a relationship that you're in or whatnot, and then have that really enhanced on the full moon evening. So you know, there's a degree of that, I think, in Western culture where like some people like, you know, it's like a romantic, it's a good date night, or, you know, I mean, but it's like, yeah, it was an interesting outlook on some more like the Eastern or different cultures that are just, yeah, really plan around it and do some days preparation leading into it. And just the whole idea, yeah, like I always recall the like even myself, I would get a little more rowdy on, you know, back in the drinking days of on full moons. But yeah, it was an interesting look on it for sure. So I had that in mind for tonight, and I'll get into that as part of my, you know, what I'm going to be putting out there. But before we do, yeah, Caitlin, what have you located as far as knowledge for this full moon?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, this full moon is called the snow moon, most commonly, which is due to the fact that the heaviest snowfall is typically in February. Also called the hunger moon because this is the month that food has become the most scarce. Some tribes also call this moon the bone moon because food is so scarce that they are gnawing on bones or making bone broth to survive at this point.
Wow.
I know last month we talked about that it was a micromoon. This is also a micromoon and is the last micromoon of the year. It is the smallest of the moons. And I also read that it's difficult to actually tell that it's smaller. However, we may be able to see that it's a bit dimmer. We have a super, super clear night here, so I'm not seeing that. But you know, if every night was as clear, maybe it'd be different. Also, I found out that the micromoon is because this full moon is the furthest away in its orbit when we see it. So that's why it's the smallest. Read that in 2 different sources, so
yes,
I'm gonna share it. Yeah, and then that was everything.
Very cool. I like all the alternate names. The bone moon, I've never heard that one before. That's interesting.
Yeah, and that one I found multiple places, so I thought it was interesting. And you know, I drink bone broth personally, so I thought it was very interesting.
Definitely. Very cool. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. What else? And then of course this micromoon. Was there ever a micro moon before? You know, have we ever? Because I've heard of the super moons, and of course we've gotten into that before, but micro moons 2 in a row.
I'm just wondering if they like aren't as exciting for people, so they just don't like they're not as mainstream shared.
Right.
That's
Like,
right.
oh, it's
exactly
going to be
it.
smaller than normal.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We only
Yeah.
care
No
about
one
super
cares.
moons. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah. That could
not
be.
like it's not like the blood moon or the flower moon or the pumpkin moon or like something
The pumpkin
exciting
moon.
like Caitlin
Right.
said, right?
Yeah.
So no
Yeah.
one cares about the micro moon.
Yeah, the micro moon, especially when it, like, yeah, that's so funny. Yeah, because when some of the other ones are like, there's the blue moon is when there's 2 full moons in 1 month, which is usually it'll
That'll
be
be a
like,
fun one.
yeah, there's one in August,
Nice.
August 31st. Yeah, remember?
Wicked.
Okay, remember? It was years ago now. There was a blue moon on New Year's Eve.
That
Do you remember
was it
that? Yeah,
yeah,
it
that
was
rings
like
a bell.
so long ago though.
Yeah,
Wow,
that
12 or 13 years ago. That was
that's
neat
a
though.
while.
And I think that was only happened in like, that was the first time in like 200 years. No, I'm completely making that number up. It was a long time though. Yeah, cool. And yeah, was it pumpkin moon? What was the other one you said, Darcy? There was pumpkin moon,
Flower moon and
flower moon.
pumpkin moon.
No, but like of the
Uh,
themed ones, there's like
Oh,
blood moon.
oh,
What's the blood moon?
moon.
Is it
That's just where it like looks red in the sky.
is that like when does it happen? It could be any of the moons, it just happens to.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is that affects it. Something about the way the sun reflects on it. Maybe there's like some sort of lunar eclipse or solar eclipse or something that hits it
Okay.
differently, so it looks a different color.
Yeah, interesting. Okay.
Something along those lines anyway. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so what are your intentions, ladies, for this full moon? And Darcy, you want to start?
So I've kind of been taking a back seat with the full moon. Like I've been putting my intentions out there and everything, but not like as full-heartedly as I used to. So I'm definitely gonna go for it this time. I'm gonna travel with it and stuff. Because I want it to go on some adventures with me and get some extra mojo going on, I guess. One of the things that I came across on a TikTok actually was, and it just kind of spoke to me, said it's time to level up and positive change is on the horizon. But to remember that change isn't always like this flashy, showy thing where you're like, oh, I'm just this brand new person. Like sometimes it's those subtle undercurrents that you kind of ignore or don't really recognize right away. So I'm just going to take a step back and just really embrace that quiet change, that kind of stillness that happens like deep within inside you. So that's kind of where I'm going with mine this month.
Rad. I like that. It's kind of like the micro moon of changes, the one like the understated change as opposed to like the super moon of changes, is just to bring it back to that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Cool. That's
Very
awesome.
fitting.
Yeah, right. I like how you're bringing it. So you're bringing it with you to Vancouver and yeah, very cool.
For sure. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. All right, Caitlin, what are your intentions or intention?
Yeah, so I was also inspired by something. I was thinking about this yesterday and today. And I've done like I want to slow down, and now it's like even like a more intentional, like I want to stop for a little bit and like let everything settle. And then I made tea right before this, and I have tea where there's a little like tag on the string, and it says, "The day you stop racing is the day you win the race."
Oh,
like, okay, that works.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stop racing. And there's
Yeah.
still some things in the works that I'm going to do. And there are things that I have been like loving doing and have been like things that are lighting my soul on fire, like, writing books and going for walks and those types of things. And that like grind hustle mentality, it's already been somewhat subsiding, is to like set that down and stop racing.
Cool.
Good for you.
I like that one.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. And that's like a good tone setter for the year. Like, it's not necessarily something that'll be like, okay, it's February done. It'll like, that could very well, you know what I mean? That's like a potential game changer, right?
For sure. And especially, 2 days before like a year of my life starts. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Which in a lot of ways is like a new year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
To
for
an
sure.
extent.
I've always viewed it as that as well. Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. I love that one.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love both yours. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, so for me, I had a good like realization last night. So I, the whole like living in the moment and present and such. I like on a cerebral way, I understand it. And even in like embodying and such, like I can know enough so I can control my, be aware of my breathing and really embody what's going on and, do a running commentary or different things to kind of keep but there was always, to me, I shouldn't say always, but there's been a missing element or just the way that somebody's explained it. That's why I had posed the question on like Kyle Cease's questionnaire night a few times just to see, because he mentions it a lot. I'm just like, well, how about like the staying present for dummies kind of thing, or like how do you go about doing it? So anyways, I had a realization last night when I was watching a video on I think the Ultimate Coach, whatever it is, Steve Hardison, and his big thing is like working on your being. So like the ultimate sort of approach of the intangibles. So it'd be, and there's just something about that clicked. And it's funny you mentioned it too, Caitlin. It was like just to be, which I believe was like your December one or November, whatever it was, one of those 2 months. And yeah, so for me, it's like, okay, I get that now. So if I'm really focusing on like who I am, who I have to be to, fill in the blank, be a better, husband, who I need to be a better coach. So just focusing on the being, like the essence of me, that to me was like, okay, that is the final connecting of a dot for me to be present. So like this afternoon when I was getting nervous about going and doing working in this recovery house for the first time in person, I realized that I have control over that because I can just focus on what feelings I want to be feeling going into that. So instead of nervous with like focusing on the, like, what if, the bad stuff, it was it was a subtle shift. And just the way that it was phrased was in such a way that I'm like, it was a light bulb moment. And just that extra word, like just filled in the gap, the missing element for me for being able to like stay present effectively and just in a way that it works for me. So yeah, that's what it's going to be, is just working on my being. Like, so basically like the examples that I just gave, like who do I have to be able to, to be the best version of myself? Who do I have to be? And then, fill in the blank with many, many, many different other things. Best dog dad, or, that sort of thing. So it felt very empowering to realize that and ask myself those questions. So that's mine, is just working on like my being.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
Cool. Thank you. Well, I guess that's a wrap. Do you ladies have anything else to say, or?
No, that's good for me. I'm excited for this month.
Yes.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that call. That was great stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, and both your birthdays are this month too, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, February
That's right.
birthdays. Very well. Cheers to the Moonwater. Putting it out there. All right. Have a great night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, guys.